With Phantom Liberty only a day away at the time that this video probably publishes, I of course want to play Phantom Liberty with a brand new save, so of course that means I have to level up. So I decided to make this video to show the process of how I'm going to level up fast in Cyberpunk 2077 with Update 2.0. Alright, one of the first ways I'm going to be leveling up my character is by completing a few of the Beat on the Brat missions. So to unlock Beat on the Brat, you can talk to Coach Fred when you first exit V's apartment. On top of that, if you do not interact with him when you first leave V's apartment, you can come back to it at a later point. And for those of you who have played a fair bit of the game before, you will know that Beat on the Brat, especially when you get to the last few missions for it, can become extremely difficult. So as I said, I'm just going to be doing the first few to earn a little bit of eddies and experience. Alongside that, as I travel across the map of Night City, I'm going to be stopping at every NCPD scanner mission. So these are the NCPD scanner missions that you see right now on the screen. And by completing these, you will earn XP, street cred, and a small amount of eddies. But on top of that, you can also earn loot and other items in crates that are at certain locations, which you can either use these weapons to either sell to earn yourself extra eddies, or you can dismantle them into parts that you can use for crafting or upgrading your better weapons. Another thing that I'm going to be focusing on while playing through the game and doing these missions is skill progression. So down here in your character menu, in the bottom right, you're going to see skill progression. In here are your 5 different skills and their progression for their levels. So as you can see, they can go up to 60, and every 5 levels give you rewards, whether that's buffs to your character or either perks that you can use to spend on your character. Now on the screen right now, I'm going to show you what you need to use for weapons and items to increase the skill in each of these categories. Now next up we have Netrunner. Yet again on the screen is all the things you're going to have to use to increase Netrunner. Now number 3 we have Shinobi, and yet again on the screen this is everything that you need to use. Then we have Solo skill. Now of course on the screen is everything that you need to use to increase this skill. And last but not least we have Engineer, and on the screen right now is everything that you need to use to increase this skill. And shout out for Gamer Guides for the information on how you actually increase each skill, as I wasn't even sure of how you increase these skills in the first place. So shout out to them, and I'll link their guide down below. On top of that, I highly recommend, of course, doing the main story, side quests, gigs, and even just random jobs and events that you find around the world. Now, of course, that if you don't want to be doing the story and you're just trying to level up, give the gigs a try, as majority of them are different and are fairly well rewarded for your effort. On top of that, you can also do Cyberpyschos. Cyberpyschos will all, of course, give you loot like weapons and possibly even cyberware. And on top of that, Regina Jones pays you very well for your efforts, especially if you don't neutralize them. Now the last way in today's video that I'm going to show you on how to level up fast is this spot on the map down in Pacifica. Now let me say quickly that this was done at level 21, but it should work at absolutely any level or point in the game. I did it around 6 p.m. in game time, and while I was testing this route, I did find that some AIs would spawn and sometimes they wouldn't. You may find that in your own game this might be a little bit different, but you should still be able to yield a lot of XP and loot from doing this. To draw this out, you're going to go to the first lifeguard house, and then you're going to head over here. There's usually a few enemies that spawn here. And on top of that, you are going to book it to the next one, which is all the way down here. This is the lifeguard house. And then there's going to be a ton of AIs that spawn here, as well as a few that spawn here. Then you're going to run further. Few usually spawn here, not every time though. And then you're going to book it to the Grand Imperial Mall fast travel. And then from there, you're going to fast travel right back to the pier and do the whole thing over again. I'm going to quickly show you the area that I run and go over which enemies likely spawn there. To start off with, that's the spot right there. Just run down here. If you take this, you're not going to take fall damage, as you see. Now the first lifeguard house is right here. 3 enemies. Quickly defeat them. Now, I'm not going to be picking up their loot, but I highly recommend that you pick up their loot. I'm just not picking it up for the sake of this. Now, this location, I sometimes get 4 enemies that'll spawn there, but not every time, and I haven't really been able to figure out why that is. Anyways, you're going to run past the, what is that, volleyball court there. And you're gonna have your next lifeguard house here, or lifeguard building. Now there should be 3 enemies here again, just like the last one. I can't vault, don't mind me. And there we go. Quickly defeat these. Or not. There we go. And of course, pick up their loot, as always. And you're gonna run over to this location here. There's gonna be 3 right here that I highly recommend getting. Get those. There we go. And then you're gonna run over here to these 3. Now I haven't alerted the other groups yet, somehow. Mainly because I'm not using firearms. There's gonna be a group dancing here. You're gonna want to try to avoid eliminating the actual AIs, so the friendly AIs, as you're going to just end up with NCPD coming right after you. And you're gonna turn around, go for these 3 here. Quickly get these guys defeated. There we go. And then there's the last 3 here for this specific section. Alright, got those 3. And I did end up getting NCPD, but not to worry. There's 3 more AIs here that you can neutralize. There we go. Now you're gonna run over here and you're gonna go up these stairs. Now sometimes there is 1 AI right here. Clearly there isn't this time. And then there's also usually 3 here. But yet again, I'm not sure why they spawn sometimes and don't other times. And you're just going to book it through the parking lot of the mall. There we go. And then this is your fast travel point right here. So now we're at the Grand Imperial Mall fast travel point, and you're just going to go right back to the Pacifica Pier and just keep repeating this process. And you should make a ton of eddies from all the loot that you collect, as well as crafting components. On top of that, you will be leveling up your skill progression for those specific areas that I talked about, depending on what weapons you specifically use while doing this. And of course, you're going to be leveling up your character and street cred. So yeah, those are my ways on how to level up fast in Update 2.0 without owning Phantom Liberty. If you have any other ways that I didn't touch on, or that you highly recommend or even use yourself, please comment them down below, as we can help others in the community and figure out ways to level up even faster than I have shown today. If you enjoyed this content and found it helpful, be sure to tweak that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.